Poinsettias are the most popular flower for the holiday season, but the amaryllis is gaining in popularity. They're simple to grow, they can rebloom each year, and we can plant them outdoors in central Texas. Now you'll find jumbo bulbs over 40 centimeters, and they'll have 2 to 3 bloom stalks with 4 to 6 blooms per stalk. And then the large bulb will often have 2 bloom stalks with 3 to 4 blooms per stalk. So you get a long period of bloom. The smaller bulbs are also available, and you'll find these bulbs in stores usually in October and November, and they're also sold online. There's no need to refrigerate amaryllis, but look for bulbs that are firm and don't have soft spots or shrunken spots. And then plant your bulbs in a plastic pot. I like to put the date and the variety of the bulb on the pot with a China marker. And you don't want to put them in a pot too large, 6 to 7 inches. You can group 3 bulbs together in a large pot for a real show, but you want to keep the neck and shoulders of the bulb up out of the soil. Use a well-drained potting soil and really firm that soil around the bulb to get air spaces out. Water them and keep them in a bright spot with indirect light, about 60 degrees, not too warm because the growth can be very spindly. The blooms will appear and they'll start growing toward the light, so you need to rotate the pots and stake them if they start to get really top heavy. And then you can use rye seed on top or moss or pine cones to cover up the soil and make them decorative. Now another thing you can do is pot amaryllis in water, but I don't really like the typical the vases that are sold for amaryllis because they just tend to get too top heavy and fall over. I like to put them in a deep vase with stones or glass rocks like this. You'll trim off any really dried out looking roots and put that bulb in the water, but it's important that the water does not touch the bottom of the bulb. Leave about an inch below the bottom of the bulb. The bulb's roots will go for the water, but the bulbs will rot if they are touching the water. Then whether you put them in the pot or in the vase, you can pot them up and move them outside after all freezes are over, and then you want to start feeding that bulb because you're feeding the foliage all summer long is what's going to make a bloom for next year's show. So make sure you're feeding them monthly, and then about late September, October, you want to stop watering the plant and move them to a cool, dark place. This one was stopped, the watering was stopped about 3 weeks ago, so now I'm ready to trim the foliage off, repot that in fresh soil, and start the process all over again. Now you can also plant them outside, but if you do plant them outside, put them in a spot with well-drained soil, at least a half a day sun, and make sure you're putting the shoulders up out of the soil as well. You can also cut the stalks and use them as a cut flower, and they're a nice gift to give people. Even people who aren't gardeners love to watch these things bloom, so pot them up and give them as a gift for the holidays. For Backyard Basics, I'm Trisha Shirey. Thanks for watching.